Visualize this. You're jolted awake by the stark reality that your daily expenses have inflated by an alarming rate in a short span of 3 years. This is no imaginary scenario, but a grim reality for a large number of Canadians today. The cost of living crisis in Canada is no buzzword. It's an actuality that's directly impacting Canadian households, draining their wallets. Essential grocery prices, a fundamental segment of everyday life, have shot through the roof. This isn't merely about curtailing your indulgences or discretionary items. We're discussing basic staples: bread, milk, eggs, the essentials that make up our daily meals. These are the commodities that are escalating in price, pushing the cost of living to nerve-wracking heights. So, how are Canadians responding to this? It's a striking demonstration of their resilience and adaptability. As per a survey conducted by BMO Financial Group, a significant proportion of Canadians are intending to trim their expenditure this year, solely due to this cost of living crisis. We're not discussing trimming of frivolous purchases. This entails making difficult choices, like juggling between settling the bills and ensuring there's food on the table. It's about revising financial strategies, setting up stringent budgets, and dealing with financial insecurities that cast a daunting shadow over what's to come. This paints a vivid picture of the cost of living crisis in Canada. A daily struggle, a continuous balancing act of necessities and available assets. It's a crisis that's molding the way Canadians live, spend, and strategize for their future. So, what's the significance for the average Canadian? It's about rethinking financial strategies, setting up budgets, and managing financial fears. It's a harsh reminder of a crisis that's far from conclusion, and it undoubtedly necessitates a call to action for solutions that tackle the underlying issues, not just the evident symptoms of this escalating cost of living. Behind the surge of everyday expenses lurks a formidable predator: escalating debt and unyielding inflation. For the residents of Canada, this cost of living crisis extends beyond the escalating prices of daily necessities. It encompasses the inflating debt that many find themselves up against. BMO Financial Group's research indicates that nearly 1/3 of Canadian men and women anticipate reducing their spending in 2024 because of economic unpredictability. A significant 58% resort to credit cards for holiday gifts, while 1 in 4 find themselves uncertain about their ability to settle their expenses promptly. But what is propelling this debt? The culprit, quite simply, is inflation. Although frequently mentioned, the true meaning of inflation remains elusive to many. To put it plainly, inflation is the pace at which the overall cost of products and services is increasing. It's akin to a silent burglar, gradually draining the worth of your painstakingly earned money. Let's depict the scenario with some figures. Just 3 years prior, the cost of groceries was nearly 40% lower than the current rates. Visualize it. Your usual grocery haul that used to cost $100 now demands $140. That's $40 less available for other necessities, savings, or perhaps that little luxury you've been contemplating. And it's not merely groceries. The costs of housing, food, transportation have risen universally. The outcome: Canadians, both men and women, are feeling the financial sting and are compelled to alter their lifestyles. From reducing discretionary spending to utilizing savings, Canadians are adapting to ensure their ends meet. Many are also postponing investments into their registered retirement savings plans or tax-free savings accounts. This isn't a choice made casually. It's a decision rooted in necessity. It's not only the mature adults who grapple with this. The younger generations, such as millennials and Gen Z, are experiencing the financial pressure as well, with notable impacts on their mental well-being. Inflation isn't just a figure, it's a strain on your budget, a pressure on your way of life. The cost of living isn't merely a statistic, it's a real-life experience with diverse impacts across different generations. Let's unpack this intergenerational effect. For instance, consider millennials like Jessica, born between the early 80s and mid-90s. Jessica is feeling the pinch of her economic reality. She confronts burdens like student loan repayments, minimal wage growth, and soaring apartment lease rates. Few like her are able to own their own homes, leading to their label as the renter generation. Next, we have Generation Z, those born from the mid-90s to early 2000s. Meet Zachary, a true digital native. who is stepping into an economy where college costs have skyrocketed, while the likelihood of landing a well-paying job to manage those costs is, therefore, it's no shock that many Gen Zs like Zachary are opting to postpone milestones such as moving out, marriage, or starting a family due to financial limitations. But this isn't a burden only borne by the young. The baby boomers, like Robert, born between the mid-40s and mid-60s too, are wrestling with this economic challenge. Robert finds himself torn between supporting his grown children monetarily and taking care of his elderly parents. Adding to this concern of his retirement savings lasting through his golden years, and we have a generation under immense financial pressure. Jessica, a millennial from Toronto, juggling the need to pay off her student loan, deal with steep rent, and face the continual threat of job insecurity. Zachary, a Gen Z from Calgary, has recently graduated with a significant student loan debt and is stepping into a job market still staggering from the pandemic's blow. Then we have Robert, a baby boomer from Montreal, who's extending financial aid to his adult son for his rent while fretting over the longevity of retirement savings. These narratives are not anomalies, but rather echo the generational repercussions of the cost of living crisis. It's not just a matter of money, but also of the postponed dreams, the stress born, and the limited choices. The cost of living crisis is leaving an imprint, irrespective of the generation in question. Government policies can shape the financial reality for every Canadian man and woman. So where do we find ourselves in Canada? Let's delve into the current cost of living crisis sweeping across the nation. Government policies, in an ideal scenario, have the potential to alleviate this crisis. However, in reality, certain measures have only intensified the economic strain for the typical Canadian. Consider, for instance, tariffs on imported goods. These taxes, designed to safeguard homegrown industries, can unintentionally drive up prices for consumers. It's like stepping into a store only to discover that your beloved item just became a little costlier. Then we have taxes levied on innovative concepts like ride-hailing services. Such platforms offer convenience and affordability, but the government's additional taxes can escalate costs, making it less available for those who depend on them for daily commute. It's akin to paying extra for the luxury of efficiency, and we must address the soaring air travel expenses largely attributed to government-enforced fees. These fees can render the aspiration of a vacation or visiting distant relatives unaffordable for many. It's as if you have wings, but the sky remains elusive. But not paint a completely bleak picture. The government also possesses the authority to introduce policies that foster market competition and innovation, making life more affordable. For instance, eliminating hurdles that hinder the economic advantages of a market economy might reduce consumer costs. However, it's important to remember that the policy decisions carry a substantial weight on the cost of living. Every tariff, tax, or fee can nibble at the purchasing power of Canadians, causing them to wrestle with escalating bills and diminishing budgets. So what's our key insight here? Government policies are more than just theoretical ideas discussed in Parliament. They touch all aspects of daily life, influencing everything from the price of your morning coffee to your home's cost. And when these policies lead to a cost of living crisis, it's the ordinary Canadian man or woman who bears the brunt. It's certainly time for some rethinking, isn't it? Undoubtedly, policy decisions deeply impact the everyday financial realities of Canadians. The cost of living crisis isn't just about numbers, it's about individuals and their personal experiences. Imagine the toll on a single mother battling sleepless nights as financial concerns take over, instigating a mental health crisis among Canadians. An RBC survey revealed that a significant proportion of adults are kept awake by financial anxieties. The effect is even more pronounced for the younger generation, millennials and Gen Z, with a majority reporting disrupted sleep due to fiscal strain. These financial stresses aren't just affecting slumber patterns, they are corroding personal relationships and inducing considerable mental health disorders. A great number of millennials and Gen Zers reveal that monetary worries have taken a toll on their mental health. Let's consider a young couple with the aspiration of owning a home, a fundamental part of the Canadian dream, now seems far-fetched due to the cost of living crisis. The surge in interest rates directly impacts their ability to become homeowners, making it increasingly for Canadians to purchase a home. High interest rates inflate mortgage costs, moving homeownership beyond the horizon for many. The cost of living crisis is not an economic dilemma, it's a mental health concern. It's about dreams and aspirations. It's time we recognize this and make a move. The cost of living crisis has comprehensive impacts affecting our mental well-being to our dreams of homeownership. Understanding the cost of living crisis empowers us all, regardless of our individual circumstances. By staying informed, we can make more informed decisions and hold our leaders accountable. This conversation must be kept alive. Highlight this issue by sharing this video with your circle, friends, family, and within your social networks. Your subscription to this channel is your ticket to staying updated with the latest developments. As a collective, we have the strength to confront the cost of crisis. Show your support by liking and sharing this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates. We appreciate the time you've spent with us today.